a lot of you have that dry ass because your pH balance is off. And you want to know why? It's not because you're born with it. It's because y'all keep these dirty ass. You got to tell babe, yo, your more like mustard, man. You want to throw my pH balance off. Y'all be these little dirty ass be and shit. Y'all need to brush your teeth before you eating barbecue ribs the whole day, bacon, egg, and cheese. Then you nigga right after he directly put it inside your. Now you got bacon, egg, and cheese grease inside your. You know what I'm saying?
That was Joe Biden's favorite music artist, Cardi B, with a message for your daughters and granddaughters. Biden let her interview him recently. We showed you that footage earlier this week. Biden's totally fine with it. But this kind of crap isn't confined to music. All of a sudden, it's everywhere. Now the company Netflix, which of course dominates scripted television, is saying it's deeply sorry after releasing a poster to promote its movie Cuties. Take a look at the poster. What's the first thing you think of? It's sexualizing young girls, really young girls, not 16-year-old girls, like 11-year-old girls. The poster shows them dancing in cropped dance costumes. Some parents are offended. You should be offended by this. They're trying to get the Cuties removed from Netflix. The company says it's a film about an 11-year-old girl who rebels against her family to join a salacious dance crew. Okay. Armin White is a film critic at National Review. He joins us tonight. Mr. White, thanks so much for coming on. Why this constant impulse to sexualize young girls from the people who tell us they're protecting girls? What is this?
Well, we have to remember it's not really new, Tucker.
No.
It goes all the way back to Madonna. I mean, I remember back in the 80s when Madonna came on the scene, and I think it was even Morrissey who said that after this, what's left? And since Madonna, since then, the media has found a way to influence and ruin young generations. I mean, the MTV is based on the pernicious indoctrination of young people into sex and alcohol and drugs. This is what our mainstream media, our democratically based media, is based on.
If you were, I don't know, handing out Marlboros to sixth graders, you would be seen as a villain. This is so much worse than handing out Marlboros because it corrodes people inside. It helps shape the course of their lives in a really bad direction, and yet we don't even know the names of the people who are pushing this crap. Why don't the rest of us say something about it?
It's funny, as a pop culture critic, I've realized for years that people think that Hollywood is their friend. It's not their friend. No. One of Trump's great phrases is the enemies of the people, and the mainstream media has become enemies of the people. This is why they use sex to lure young people's imaginations and to get them concentrated on self-abasement, self-abuse, and self-exploitation, because MTV tells them and Hollywood tells them this is the route to fame.
Conservatives
it happens all the time. It happens too frequently.
But it's not about politics.
All the time.
We shouldn't say it's
for granted.
Yeah, I know. But really quick, because I know you've thought a lot about this. Do you have any idea why they would want to destroy young girls?
It's a way of, I believe it's a way of controlling an audience, of keeping an audience. They always say sex sells, violence sells, and this is what Hollywood does when it has no imagination. When it lacks creativity, it sells sex and violence. And really, too often, most people think it's business as well. It is business as usual, but people take it for granted as this is what pop culture is. But it's not what pop culture can be. As I try to say 2 times a week at National Review on Wednesdays and Fridays, that pop culture can be better than this. That we should demand more of it. We should demand better of it.
Exactly. This is art that matters. For instance,
I mean, you start out with a.
Give it to me really quick, if you would. Yeah.
Art that matters, sincerity that matters. For instance, you started out with a clip from Cardi B. Cardi B is vulgar, but Cardi B, I think, is not as dangerous as someone like Taylor Swift, who sells an invidious message, who sells a message to young people that makes them think they're being smart, when actually she's getting them to swallow the Hollywood line, and that's just as dangerous, frankly.
Interesting. A nuance I missed, but I appreciate it.
But there's good stuff out there. You just have to have to look for it. And I want to bring it to people.
Armin White, thank you for coming on tonight. I hope you'll come back.